In this video, let us learn many-to-many relationship. In Spring Boot, a many-to-many relationship between entities is established using JPA annotations, primarily at the rate many-to-many and at the rate table. This relationship signifies that each instance of one entity can be associated with multiple instances of another entity and vice versa. So, in order to achieve many-to-many relationship, we can take some examples. First example 1, we can take student. So, st- students and as well as courses. So, one student can do multiple courses and one course can be done by multiple student. So, it indicates many-to-many relationship. The another one example, we can take one more card, places, and next one called tourist. One place can be visited by n number of tourists, and one tourist can visited n number of places. So that is also indicated by many-to-many relationship. In our example, first we need to discuss students and as well as courses. So for that purpose, first we need to create the Spring Boot project. By using Spring Initializer, we can create a Spring Boot project. First we can open a Chrome browser. So navigate to start.spring.io and select project as Maven and language as Java. The Spring Boot version is 3.5.6. You can provide com.gentech and artifact name you can just provide spring-many-to-many, and here you can just provide the package name as demo. So select packaging as a jar. By default it's selected, and JDK by default it is selected 21, and in our current machine we have installed JDK version is 21. So the dependency we need to include MySQL dependency, MySQL driver, and Spring Data JPA. Spring Data JPA we need to add. So currently we don't want to generate or develop RESTful APIs. That's the reason we are not adding Spring Web. So once after adding these dependencies, just click on generate. So it was generated the zip file. Just open the downloads folder and copy the Spring-many-to-many. Copy this particular one and go to C drive. There is a folder called Spring Boot application. Here just paste it. So now we can extract the zip file, extract all. In order to avoid the nested folder, you can remove this particular name. Yes, once after it is extracted successfully, delete this particular zip file. So now we can open the IntelliJ IDE and open that particular project, the Spring-many-to-many. So click on File, click on Open. So go to C drive. So Spring, we need to select Spring Boot application. So many-to-many, yes, Spring-many-to-many we have selected. So click on this window. So trust the project. So it was resolving the dependencies. Resolving Maven dependencies, it takes some little bit time. Once after resolving the Maven dependencies, click on No. Once after resolving the Maven dependencies, we need to create a package called entity under main. We need to create a package called entity. So before creating the package entity, we have to add the MySQL driver details or MySQL connection details. So those MySQL connection details. So in order to provide the MySQL connection details, go to MySQL Workbench, create database many to many. So once after creating the database many to many, copy this one. So now we can provide spring dot data source dot URL. So URL we need to provide jdbc colon mysql colon localhost colon 3306. It is the port number of MySQL, and we need to provide the database name. Next we need to provide spring dot data source dot username. Username is root, and password spring dot data source dot password is equal to root. So we need to provide the Hibernate details. Spring dot JPA dot Hibernate dot detail hyphen auto. That should be update, and we need to provide show SQL. So for that purpose, spring dot JPA dot show hyphen SQL is equal to true. So these are the SQL MySQL details we have, connection details we have provided. The URL, username, password, along with Hibernate details also we have provided. Once after providing these details, save this application.properties file. So now go to entity, just right click and create a class name called student, and another one class name we need to create, that is course. So with respect to student, we need to provide the details, provide integer id, provide string first name, provide string email id, and next one provide string city name. So again one more called provide date created at, and another one called provide date updated at. So date should be imported from java.util package. If we can import from java.sql, it will generate only the date. It won't provide the timestamp. So that's the reason if you require date along with the timestamp, we should select java.util date. So now similar way, go to course. We need to provide integer id, provide string course name, and provide string description. And here also we need to provide date created at, provide date updated at. Again here we should import from java.util package. So next, the student, we need to make it as an entity by providing an entity annotation called entity, and table name is equal to tbl underscore students. So we need to provide the primary key at the rate id at the rate generated value strategy is equal to generation type dot identity we need to provide. Similarly, we can provide for the course also @entity @table name is equal to tbl underscore courses, and here also we should provide primary key @generated value strategy is equal to generation type dot identity. So once after providing these basic details, we should provide a user defined column name. So with respect to table wise, we need to, if I didn't provide the column name, user defined column name for the table column name, it will take the same field name as a column name. So for that purpose, we can rename the column name. So @column, we can use the annotation called column name is equal to student underscore id. Similar way, we should use student underscore first name and again student underscore email id and student underscore city name and student underscore created at and student underscore updated at. Okay, these are become a column name for the table, which is the table underscore students. So in order to generate the created date, we should use the annotation called creation timestamp. Similar way, we need to provide update timestamp. We should provide the same details we should include in the course also. So we need to provide the column name with respect to table wise. So there is written @column name is equal to course underscore id. Similar way, course underscore name and course underscore description, course underscore created at, and course underscore updated at. So we need to provide the annotation creation timestamp, creation timestamp and update timestamp we should provide. So once after providing these details, so these are the fundamental details we have provided with respect to student and as well as with respect to course. So now we have to perform many-to-many relationship. So with respect to many-to-many, as the definition indicates, many-to-many relationship between two entities. In our case, there are two entities called student and as well as course. Is established using JPA annotation. What are the JPA annotation? Primarily @many-to-many and @join table. So by using these two annotation, we will perform the many-to-many relationship between student and as well as course. So for that purpose, first we need to go to student @many-to-many relationship. Many-to-many cascade is equal to cascade type all mapped by students. We should provide set java.util courses is equal to new has set of. Once after providing this particular one, again you can generate getter and setter. Right click, generate getter and setter. Select all the field name, click on OK. It has generated the getter and setter. Again we need to generate the constructor. Right click, constructor. So select all the field name. When a class contains parameterized constructor, the class should have a no args constructor. So for this purpose, we need to provide no args constructor and save it. Similar way, we need to go for course. We should provide at the rate many to many relationship. Cascade is equal to cascade type all. So now we should provide at the rate join table we should provide. So with respect to join table, name is equal to students underscore courses. So this is called the association. So this association, it combines both the entities, student and as well as the courses. So this is nothing but a association. So here comma, we should provide join columns at the rate join column, which is the column where we can able to join, means at the rate join column name is equal to student underscore id. The another one, inverse join columns, that is at the rate join column name course underscore id. So after providing these details, we should provide set student is equal to new has set. So here we should import asset, we should import from java.util package. Yes, we have imported asset and set from java.util package. So once after providing these details, yes, we need to generate the getter and setter. Select all the field name, generate the getter and setter, and we need to generate the constructor. For constructor, by using all args constructor. When a class contains parameterized constructor, the class should have a no args constructor. So for that purpose, we should include no args constructor. Yes, we have developed the student and course, both the entities, and both the entities having a relationship called many-to-many relationship. So now we need to create a package repository. First one called student repository. We need to generate one interface called student repository. The student repository extends JPA repository. So here we need to provide an entity name. In our case, student is the entity name, and the data type of the primary key, that is integer. Similar way, we need to create one more repository interface, that is for course. Course repository. It extends JPA repository. So here we need to provide the entity name. In our case, this entity is a course, and data type of the primary key is integer. So now we have developed the two repository interfaces, one's for student repository, another called course repository. So to save these changes, now we can go to the main class. This main class implements an interface command line runner. This command line runner interface contains, it is allowing us to implement a method called run method. So now we should inject first one called student repository, student repo, another one @autowired provide course repository, course repo. So now we should create an object. The first object student 1 is equal to new student. We should provide student1 dot set. What are the information we can provide? Means the first name we can provide Santosh. Set email ID @gmail.com. student1 dot set city name. The city name we can just provide any city name, Raichur. Similar way we should create the student2. Is equal to new student student2 dot set first name is Srinivasa and student2 dot set email ID @gmail.com. Set city name. City we can just provide any city name. So in our case we can provide the city name as Ballari. So once after creating the student, create students. Similar way we should create the courses. First one, course 1 is equal to new course. Course 1 dot set course name. Course name is full stack development description is set description developing backend and front-end application. Similar way we need to create one more object course2 is equal to new course course2 dot set course name. The course name is playwright automation. Course2 dot set description web and API automation, web and API automation. Yes, we have created a two student and we have created two courses. Now we need to add courses to students. So how we can able to add means first we can take a student one dot get courses. The get courses is returns set. So dot add, we need to add student1. So course means sorry, we need to add course one. Similar way student1 dot get course add course2. For the student1 we added two courses. Similar way for student2 get courses course1 course2. Similar way we should add students to course1 dot get students. It returns set only. Dot add student1 course1 dot get students dot add student2. Similar way course2 dot get students dot add get students dot add student2. So once after adding all the details, save to repository. We should save to repository. So how we can able to save means student repo dot save all. So how we can able to save list dot off. We can save student1 comma student2. Similar way course repo dot save all. Since we are using cascade all, even if you can save student repo itself, the automatically it is going to save it will save course also, but even the explicitly we are adding list dot of course1 comma course2. So the second line is optional because even based on the first one only, it automatically it is going to save the course details since we are using cascade all. So save this particular changes. Now if you can execute, you should be able to see console. So we can go to the database table. So here use many-to-many. So now select star from many-to-many dot. We can refresh here. There are three tables I should create. So first one called table underscore students. Table underscore students. Second one, select star from many-to-many dot table underscore courses. Next select star from many-to-many dot students. There is an association table. Execute now. The first we need to go to students. There are two students are available, Santosh and as well as Srinivas. So their student ID is 1 and 2 got generated. So here course, there are two courses are available. The first course called which one means first one called playwright automation, second one called full stack development. The courses are available. So here we have an association. So the student 1 so is associated with the course 1. Again student 1 is associated with the course 2. Again student 2 is associated with the course 1 and student 2 is associated with the course 2. So this represents the many-to-many relationship. Thank you.